This momentary marriage, a parable of permanence. The reason for the title of my marriage book, which I finally wrote after 40 years of marriage, knowing I'd never be ready to do this, but got to do it sometime, I felt. The reason for the title is that Jesus said, in the resurrection, there will be no marrying or giving in marriage. So it is momentary. This life is a momentary place, a season where God appoints marriage, and He appoints it. Here's the thesis of the book, that covenant keeping is the meaning of marriage, not romance. And the relationship between the two, that is wonderful, deep, sweet, personally, emotionally, sexually satisfying romance, can rise and fall. And it will be possible where covenant keeping remains. So covenant keeping is the faithful tilling of the soil where the flowers of romance can grow ever again and again and again. But that's not the only reason for calling it, saying that covenant keeping is the main purpose of marriage. Ephesians 5 says that husbands should love their wives the way Christ loved the church, and the wives should be submissive to their husbands the way the church ideally would be submissive to Christ. And there's this profound love relationship between the two. That picture of Christ and church will be lost if we don't think of marriage as mainly a covenant keeping. Christ keeps covenant with His church. He paid for His wife by His own blood, and He will never go back on that sacrifice. So I've said to people, you're free to get divorced when Jesus divorces His church. And I think marriage permanence really matters to God, just like Christ's permanent commitment to His church really matters to God. So marriage is a picture of the covenant keeping between Christ and His church. And where that flourishes, that is where that is rock solid. Noelle and I have looked into each other's eyes many times in our horrible, worst moments and said, divorce is not an option here. And that has enabled us now at 40, coming up on 44 years, to say, you're really precious to me. I really enjoy having you around. There have been seasons when that wasn't the case. And the fact that we could return to them again and again and again is because we've seen marriage as covenant keeping rooted in Christ.